Sophie had sugar daddy.
Really?
And it's like banging her. And Rob is useless, so...
I'm just gonna be honest and real. I'm going through menopause. You know, he yells at me, he's like, oh, you're bipolar. I'm like, no, that's hormones.
Well, the question was, do you think that Stacey should trust Florian?
Maybe not.
So this episode wasn't as crazy as the first one, but it was still pretty good. Let's talk about it. So the episode picks up with Brandon and Julia.
With this second guy, how far did it go?
I kissing him. I'll be kissing.
And Brandon says that he had already filed for the K-1 visa and that they were already engaged. But Julia says that they were actually in a fight during that time. And Julia thought that she was never going to see Brandon again.
But, or French kiss.
Jasmine.
I wanna know.
She's always instigating something. Brandon says he doesn't want to know about it. Sean asks Brandon's parents what they think about what Julia just said, and they are actually on her side.
You chose Brandon, so you gotta put it behind you. That's my take.
I agree.
I think they took that group therapy serious. Julia apologizes to Brandon, but it's in such an aggressive way.
You stand up. She's
Amazing.
Julia says, are you going to hold this over my head? Are you going to forgive me? And Rob says that Brandon still needs time, that this is new information. I think that's true. I think Julia should be more sympathetic. Sean asks Brandon if he trusts Julia, and he says not really, but Julia's like, that's acceptable. I bet she likes him in the beginning, but I'm sure everything that happened with him and his parents turned her off. Brandon says that he just needs time right now, and that's the end of Brandon and Julia for this episode. So now let's move on to Rob and Sophie. Sean says to Sophie that she looks very beautiful, but that something is clearly different.
I mean, I did a little something.
What'd you do?
Got my boobs done. Yeah, literally like a month ago.
Okay.
A little bit.
I've never seen her smile this much. I'm happy for her.
Just in general, I'm a lot more confident, and like I've been on this like self-love journey since the retreat, and I'm just feeling good about myself.
Sean asked Rob, what do you think about Sophie's look?
Staring off in space. She looks good. I mean...
And then they talk about Sophie showing her new boobs to Rob.
I just showed him in the changing room because he hadn't seen them yet. I just...
And they're wondering if she decided to make all these changes to get revenge on Rob.
It's almost like, oh, now that we aren't together, here's something that you would love it, but nah, you don't quite get this.
Sophie says her and Rob were not speaking to each other for months, but all of a sudden they reconnected and decided to go to Disney together. And Rob was there playing it super cool, trying not to get his hopes up, and Sophie loved that.
Like, we had an amazing day, and all the things it's like I'd been wanting in a relationship I was receiving because we wasn't arguing. That type of feeling, I kind of just felt like I just want to have sex. I don't know.
And eventually, over time, they started sleeping together. Sean asked them when was the last time they hooked up, and they said that it's been a few months. Sophie says that she started to feel emotions and realized it was best for them to no longer speak to each other anymore. And one of them will get hurt. Either Rob will get hurt again or Sophie will get hurt again. So Sean asked Rob how soon after was he hooking up with other people. And it seemed like Rob really wanted to think about it and think whether he wanted to be honest or not.
It took a while.
It was like, yeah, right.
It took a while.
He was heartbroken for a while.
Yeah, because I was with him a lot, and it was probably like 3 months.
I can't tell if Josh was being serious or if he was just trying to help Rob. And they asked Sophie the same question, and Sophie says that it was a few months.
No, Rob,
The guy she dated was the baby father of the girl she dated.
But I didn't know.
She didn't know it.
I didn't know.
It's just, what a weird coincidence. I don't know if I even believe any of this right now. And they start talking about the divorce. It's hard to make it happen, but that the divorce is coming eventually. And Natalie, silly Natalie, always flirting with Rob.
And Rob is a great guy. Yeah.
Thank you.
You deserve good stuff.
I appreciate it.
I believe Sophie also might be a good person. Just lost a little bit.
It was just a cringy moment. Sophie calls her out and Natalie eventually apologizes. Like, girl, psh. Then they show us this behind the scenes moment with Jasmine.
Sophie had sugar daddy. She told someone and that person told me.
Really?
And it's like banging her.
I mean, like, she young, she do
Go for it, girl. Get your bag.
But she,
And Rob is useless, so...
I mean,
These things are just making her look like such a troublemaker, and I get it. The more drama she brings, the more they ask her to come back, and I'm sure that that's really what it is. Or maybe she knows from experience what it's like to have a sugar daddy. Gino, Gino was her sugar daddy, and Sophie says says that it's some 93-year-old guy. You know, Sophie with her age jokes. And she says that she's just kidding. It's just British humor, British sarcasm.
I tried to comfort Jasmine when she was sitting on the curb, and then the conversation turned into her asking me, oh, so Sophie doesn't live with you? I said, no, she hasn't lived with me in a while. She said, how does she pay for things? I said, I don't really know. She said, you think she has a sugar daddy? I said, I mean, I don't know how she pays for things, but I don't know.
Jasmine starts saying in an exaggerated accent.
I ruined your marriage. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's not cute, bro. That ain't
So sorry.
I know she's pregnant and her hormones are all over the place, but Jasmine, girl, you really need to be quiet right now. Just... Sophie says exactly what I was thinking and exactly what I said a few times.
The one that robbed and ruined my marriage.
Sean asked Florian and Stacey how are they doing now since the resort.
We were on a high note. You know, we were vibing. We weren't fighting. Obviously, time has passed. I would say the last 3-4 months have been really rocky.
He says that he just doesn't believe in therapy and thinks that therapists are just trying to take money from people.
You think the therapy did not help you at all?
I did it for her. I don't believe in therapists. I never believe to all stranger people to come to me for the paycheck to talk to me.
I don't know how anybody could be in a relationship with him. Florian definitely just told Stacey and everybody else what they wanted to hear at the recommitment ceremony. He even tricked me.
So are you blaming me that our relationship...
No, I'm not blaming
because
you.
sounds like
I'm saying what is it.
if I put in the work and the effort, then we're good.
No bad idea.
And that she feels like he'd rather be with his friends.
I feel like he finds more joy in talking to the boys. He doesn't really want to be around me. I feel like my own husband doesn't even like me. The only time you really like me is when you want something or you need something.
It's very clear that Florian is using Stacey. She's his sugar mama, but I get it. Stacey's also using Florian. She wanted this young European guy next to her, and this is who he is, and he is not changing for anyone. Stacey can do so much better than Florian. She seems like a sweetheart. She seems very giving and caring and just deserves the same in return. And Florian will never be that person for her.
I'm gonna be honest and real. I'm going through menopause, and it's kind of like hard to talk about because I feel like I'm going through changes I can't explain, and I don't think he understands it.
He's out hanging out with his friends and drinking and not comforting his wife in any way while she's going through a life change. No surprise there. And they asked Florian if he knows what menopause is, and
I know how cool for menopause.
Can any men here explain to Florian what menopause is?
All I know is at some point in a woman's life that they go through menopause, and that has something to do with like their menstrual cycle and their hormones and everything kind of changing for them again.
Florian says that no one in his family has menopause, and that's why he doesn't know what it's like. And Stacey, of course, covers for him and says, you know, we're not trying to embarrass you. We're not trying to embarrass Florian. She doesn't even know what menopause is.
And I'm just like, why is all this stuff happening? Like the foggy brain, like the weight gain. You know, he yells at me, he's like, oh, you're bipolar. I'm like, no, that's hormones.
He could be making some kind of effort in learning.
I feel like I put in a lot more effort, and I feel like that's not fair.
So they show the clips of Florian and Jasmine arguing twice.
Stop.
He knew what he was doing, stirring the pot.
Look ahead. He can burn it.
The best time, man.
I need you to lower your tone.
Whoa. First of all, it's too santo.
I was like, uh-oh, he's about to confront her.
First time you throw my drink.
Get out of her face.
All right, oh, come on.
Get away!
My college teach me to respect people, especially like friends.
Respect people. You're the most disrespectful people on earth.
Shut the up! Shut your up! Shut the up! Shut the
Respect a woman like her.
Chihuahua! Shut the up!
Florian also argued with Sophie and Gino.
Nobody leave. Sophie!
Trust me.
Sophie! Shut your mouth. I'm not gonna take your.
I wish they showed all the clips so that everyone's reminded of what kind of guy he is. Florian says, don't poke the bear. Don't trigger him or else you're gonna get yelled at. Stacey says the way Florian spoke to Jasmine is exactly the way he speaks to her, but worse.
That reaction like you gave Jasmine is what I get at home. Trigger. Shut that up. You called her a chihuahua, but I get called the and the hoe and all that.
Wow.
And I agree with everything Ari said to him.
So you think that going around and being like,
is that I'm being mad all the time. You think that's healthy for you? You age faster. You're gonna have a heart attack at like age 40.
Oh,
if you
don't worry
continue
about my
like
life
this.
sentence. I die right now. I don't give a.
Stacey says that Florian's a liability and she feels like she's always got to be watching him or apologizing for him because everything he does is so aggressive and he goes on attack mode right away. And she feels like she always has to be defending him or apologizing for him. She's realizing that she's his mother more than his wife. And I'm happy she's putting two and two together. I spent a whole recap explaining how I think Stacey acts more like Florian's mother than his wife.
I tend to kind of, I guess, take on that mother role.
This-
Yeah, because
My mother for what? Tell me.
No.
Okay,
That's
you're
not what we're
taking it
talking
like-
about. Florian is just very direct with everybody.
Florian's about to blow up and Josh catches it because he's out there saving all the men from embarrassing themselves.
Stacey feels a little bit embarrassed of the behavior.
Yeah.
And so she feels like she needs to apologize. Like, you don't owe anybody an apology except your wife. Like, you just need to work on your soft touch to her because you want her to be soft. I feel like she deserves your softness. Nobody else here deserves that.
Right.
But she does. And that's the only thing that I think that you need to work on.
Okay.
Florian seems like he knows exactly who to argue with. People like Gino and women, but not people like Josh. Sean announces that Darcy and Georgie are here. Darcy starts explaining that she's just very overprotective of Stacey and that Stacey's also protective of Darcy. Darcy starts explaining that her and Florian have gotten closer over the years, but that they weren't always close, and she feels closer to Florian because when Darcy's going through emotional stuff with her relationship, she feels like she can't come to Stacey anymore, that Stacey doesn't want to be bothered. So she started connecting more with Florian. She's buying him drinks, invites him out, you know, all the stuff that he likes to do. I can't help but wonder if Darcy also knows what Florian does behind Stacey's back.
you were venting and saying, you know, oh, he's better off single, so obviously you were talking about
That's why one night
us.
when you were bitching and screaming and yelling and moaning and groaning.
No excuse. No excuse. Stacey says that Darcy and Florian went out when she was sick, and I could really see why Stacey is so over Darcy because Darcy seems like she has such a resentment towards Stacey that she just seems like she's just getting Stacey back. It just seems like more of a revenge thing than a loving sister behavior. And Sean asked Georgie, what does he think about Darcy and Florian hanging out? And Georgie's like, I don't care. Like, he's not really worried about them at all. Stacey should be worrying about other things besides Florian and Darcy hanging out.
The question was, do you think that Stacey should trust Florian?
Maybe not.
It's probably just going to be he flirts with other women, but I'm sure it's more than that. And I can't wait to find out. But that is the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And if you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Thanks again. Please like, share, and subscribe. And bye.